So we just received another update in Borderlands 3. These typically happen every week, mainly on Thursdays, and this week it brings with it some adjustments to the looting system from certain bosses, some bug fixes and more. So as usual on this channel, we're going to be breaking down everything you need to know about this new update. Starting off the video today, let's talk about the Bloody Harvest adjustments. In a statement from Gearbox over on their website, it mentions, Captain Haunt is a fun boss fight with multiple phases, but players were often skipping entire phases because Captain Haunt's shields were so low. We increased these shields to make the fight slightly more engaging for most players, and dramatically increased the loot drop chance, so players are compensated nicely for defeating Captain Haunt. Now in addition to this, they did list off some of the changes they have actually made. Starting off, they have now increased Captain Haunt's chance to drop legendary gear. This is already a good thing, although I will say Captain Haunt's drop rate was pretty good already. There was times where he wouldn't drop anything, and then there was times where he would drop multiple legendaries, so either way, a good change there. Moving on again now, they have increased Captain Haunt's shields. This really isn't going to matter too much because Captain Haunt in general isn't really a hard boss to take out. So moving on again, the Hectoplasm drop rate from Ghosts has now been increased. Normal Ghosts drop 2 Hectoplasm. Badass Ghosts, which of course are those red ghosts, now drop 3 Hectoplasm. And then the legendary Golden Loot Ghosts now drop 5 Hectoplasm on kills. And in addition to this, the loot ghosts across the board now drop more loot, and if you're running the Bloody Harvest event, they also have an increased chance of dropping specific Bloody Harvest legendary gear. Again, these are great changes here. You know, loot ghosts dropping more loot is a good thing, and I'm specifically happy about the fact that you now have an increased chance of getting Bloody Harvest weapons from the Bloody Harvest event. There was quite a few people complaining that when they were running this, and people have run this so many times, they weren't getting, the specific Bloody Harvest weapons. So very good change here, and now moving on to the next part. Now in addition to the Bloody Harvest changes previously mentioned, we also have some adjustments to the Terror anointments. Again, reading directly from their patch notes here, it states, following what we've seen and heard from the community and the fading Halloween season, you're going to start seeing less Terror anointed parts dropping from regular enemies. Bloody Harvest enemies, including ghosts, will be picking up the slack, so if you're hunting to make a spooky build, you know where to look. Again, in terms of specifics here, the chance for Terror anointed parts to drop from regular enemies have now been decreased, and the chance for Terror anointed parts to actually drop from the Bloody Harvest event have now been increased. So if you want Terror anointments, run the Bloody Harvest event, and if you want normal anointed weapons, just play the game normally, do the normal farming, grave reward, slaughter shaft, or whatever you like, and you'll notice a lot less of them. And now we move on to the bug fixes. This really wasn't a big update this week, but in terms of bug fixes here, anointed enemies are no longer immune to cryo damage. Now they cannot be frozen by cryo damage, but they can be slowed down. And thank God they have done this. I hate anointed enemies enough as it is, and their stupid immune phases. And the fact that they were immune to cryo, to be honest, I didn't even know that was a bug. I just kind of thought that's how they worked. But either way, this is a great change and one I am definitely happy about. Anyway, moving on now to some of the quest fixes. It states they addressed a reported potential progression blocker for the quest It's Alive with the Abomination bot. They've also addressed a reported potential progression blocker if players quit the game at a certain point in the Guns of Resilience quest. They've also addressed a reported issue with explosive gunpowder barrels where they were not showing effects when shot. And for the final change now, and another great one, explosions created by enemy badass weapons have a much quicker explosion effect to reduce screen clutter. And they actually gave a bit of a description about this as well. It states, we found that badass enemies with heavy weapons were creating too many explosion effects that lingered on the screen, hindering the player's views at times. We are going to make a larger change to their weapons in a patch, but wanted to shorten the explosion particle effect to dramatically lower the screen clutter. And again, I think this is a great change. There's already a lot going on when you're playing Mayhem 3, so anywhere they can reduce the amount of screen clutter that happens in the game, I'm all for it. And then for the final segment of the video, which I normally include in the beginning, and it's just the opening statement from their patch notes, it states, this week's Borderlands 3 hotfixes, which will be live on all platforms by or before 3 PM PDT today, include quality of life adjustments to Bloody Harvest and address various issues reported by the community. We appreciate all the help. Please keep sending in your bugs and feedback to support.2k.com. So by the time this video is up, the update should already have rolled out. And as always, if you guys do have any bugs, I know there's quite a lot still in the game that they are currently working on and are going to release in a future patch. But any of the bugs or anything bad in the game that you feel needs fixing, always report it to support.2k.com. One of the things I do like about what they're doing here is they're being very transparent. They let us know what they're working on now, what they have coming to the game, and are actively working to fix as many of the bug fixes and issues as they can each week. And that's pretty much it for the video. I'm looking forward to some of the future updates they are bringing this month. As many of you know, we're getting skippable cutscenes, way more vault space, some more Vault Hunter adjustments are coming soon as well, and many more. Anyway, if you guys did enjoy this video today, be sure to leave a like down below. It's always greatly appreciated on the channel. And if you want to check out what's coming in the future of Borderlands 3, click on this video on screen now. Peace.